Good morning, students. Hope all of you are fine. Beta, today we will start chapter 4 of your book, and name of the chapter is the Central Islamic Lands. As you know, beta, in previous chapter, the last topic that we read, it was the late antiquity, and in that we read about the advent of Islam. That in Roman Empire, from the east also and the west also, Roman Empire now it started fragmented into various small kingdoms, and the Islam was growing in that particular areas. And in this chapter, this chapter is totally related to the Islam. So in this chapter we will read in detail that how the Muhammad prophet he just gave the idea of Islam. So as we have entered in the 21st century, so as we know that there are over 1 billion Muslims living in all parts of the world, and even they are the citizen of the different nations, and even they speak different languages and they dress differently. But the processes by which they became Muslims, they are just varied, and even the circumstances were also different that in the way they became the Muslims. And the Islamic community has its roots in a more unified past. Means in about 14 years ago, Islamic community came into existence, and in this chapter we are going to read about the rise of Islam and its expansion over a vast territory, and that territory it extended from Egypt to Afghanistan. And this area is known as the core area of Islamic civilization. In these centuries, Islamic society exhibited multiple political and cultural patterns, and at that time the term Islamic is used not only its purely religious sense, but it was used for the overall society. And as you know that history it is based on various evidences. Now for the history of these Islamic lands, this is based on various evidences. Those evidences we got from the chronicles and semi historical works like the biographies, records of the saying, and the doing of the prophets, that and doings of the prophet, that all are mentioned in the Quran. And even the material from which these works were produced, it has a large collection of reports, and these reports these were transmitted over a period of time, either orally or on paper. But the authenticity of each report it was tested by a critical method. Although the method was not foolproof, the medieval Muslim writers they were more careful in selecting their information and understanding the motives of their informants. And even a description of events closer to their own times is more systematic and analytical. And most of the chronicles and semi historical works those are found in Arabic, and the best that is found is the Tariq of Tabari, which has been translated into English in 38 volumes. Persian chronicles are few, but they are quite detailed in their treatment of Iran and Central Asia. Even documentary evidences is the most valuable for writing histories because it doesn't refer to events and persons. It comes almost entirely from Greek and Arabic papyri, and some evidences has emerged from the archaeological excavation also. Those are done at the desert places. And epigraphic, that was the study of inscription and sources, which is of great value for economic history like art history and for establishing names and dates, because in history beta all the events those are connected with the important dates. But the proper histories of Islam began to be written in the 19th century by university professors in Germany and the Netherlands. And even the colonial interest in the Middle East and the North Africa encouraged French and British researchers to study Islam as well. With that, Christian priests too paid close attention to the history of Islam, and they also produced some good work. So, this way, we came to know about the advent of Islam. So, the first topic now is the rise of Islam in Arabia, its faith, community, and politics. During 612 to 632, the Prophet Muhammad, who is known as the Pegambar also, preached the worship of a single God, Allah, and the membership of a single community of believers. This was the origin of Islam. Muhammad Pegambar, he was an Arab by language and culture and a merchant by profession. In 6th century, Arab culture was largely confined to the Arabian Peninsula and areas of southern Syria and Mesopotamia. Even the Arabs, they were divided into tribes, and those tribes, they were known as the Kabila. And each Kabila was led by a chief who was chosen partly on the basis of his family connections, but more for his personal courage, wisdom, मीन्स जो भी बेटा इन कबीला के जो हेड होते थे, सरदार होते थे, दे वर चूजन जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ देयर ब्रेवरी एंड करेज, नॉट ऑन फॉर देयर हेरिडिटरी पर्पज. And each tribe had its own god and goddess who was worshipped as an idol in a shrine, and those shrine was known as the masjid. Many Arab tribes, they were nomadic and they were known as the Bedouins, and these nomadic tribes, they moved from dry to green areas. And as you know that in the desert area, the green area is found near the oasis. So they just moved in the desert in search of food and fodder for their camels. Some of them, they settled in the cities and they practiced trade or agriculture. Muhammad's own tribe, Quraysh, lived in Mecca and controlled the main shrine there, a cube-like structure called Kaaba, in which idols were placed. So now you know that why Mecca is the main pilgrimage for the followers of Islam. Even tribes outside Mecca considered the Kaaba holy and installed their own idols at this shrine, making annual pilgrimages to the shrine, and that pilgrimage was known as the Hajj. Makkah was located on the crossroads of a trade route between Yemen and Syria, which further enhanced the city's importance. As you know, beta, at that medieval time, whatsoever pilgrimage or shrines, they were located on the trade routes. Those became very important. And this Makkah shrine was a place where violence was forbidden and protection was given to all the visitors. Pilgrimage and commerce gave the nomadic and settled tribes opportunities to communicate with one another and share their beliefs and customs. So these Arabs, they were familiar with the notion of a supreme God, Allah. And even their attachment to idols and shrines was more immediate and stronger. Around 612, Muhammad declared himself to be the messenger of God, and in Arabic language it was known as Rasul. And even he told himself that he had been commanded to preach that Allah alone should be worshipped. The worship involved simple rituals such as daily prayers and moral principles such as distributing alms and abstaining from theft. So Muhammad was to found a community of believers bound by a common set of religious beliefs. And this community would bear witness to the existence of the religion. Now, Muhammad's message particularly appealed to those Meccans who felt deprived of the gains from trade and religion and were looking for a new community identity. Now, in that particular area, that Prophet Muhammad, he became very popular, and the person who were deprived from the mainstream of the society, they became the follower of Pegambar, and who accepted the doctrine, they were called Muslims. They were promised salvation on the day of judgment and a share of the resources of the community while on earth. And the Muslims soon faced considerable opposition from Meccans who took offense to the rejection of their deities and found the new religion a threat to the status and prosperity of Mecca. As you know, beta, in between the different religious beliefs also, so many conflicts are found in the history. So Muhammad's journeys from Mecca, that was known as the Hijr, and at present this Hijr, it is known as the Muslim calendar. So Muhammad's journeys from Mecca was a turning point in the history of Islam, with the year of his arrival in Medina marking the beginning of the Muslim calendar. And even the survival of the religion, it rests on the survival of the community of believers. बेटा कोई भी जो रिलीजन होता है वो स्प्रेड कैसे होता है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इट्स फॉलोअर्स, राइट. So the community has to be consolidated internally and protected from external dangers. And this consolidation and protection require political institutions such as states and governments, which are either inherited from the past or borrowed from outside. As you are aware about the bhakti traditions also, beta. In bhakti, during bhakti tradition also, those Alvar and Nayanar sent, they were also protected by the Chola rulers, and even they were also protected by the Vijayanagar Empire ruler Krishan Dev Rai. So this way, whenever any religious belief came into existence, so it depends on its followers, and it needs a protection also in the society. So in Medina, Muhammad created a political order from all three sources, which gave his followers the protection they needed, as well as resolved the city's ongoing civil strife. And the Ummah was converted into a wider community to include polytheists and the Jews of Medina. It means now this Muslim religion, this was open for different type of persons, and the community survived on agriculture and trade as well as on tax. Those people were also included, and the Muslim organized different raids on Makkah caravans and nearby oases. These raids provoked reaction from the Meccans and caused a breach with the Jews of Medina. So, and at few places the battles were also fought. Now the Makkah was conquered, and Muhammad's reputation as a religious preacher and political leader spread far and wide. Muhammad now insisted on conversion as the sole criteria for membership of the community. But in the harsh conditions of the desert, the Arabs attached great value to strength, and impressed by Muhammad's achievements, many tribes, mostly Bedouins, those nomads, they joined the community by converting to Islam. And Muhammad alliances began to spread until they embraced the whole of Arabia. This way, whole of Saudi Arabia, it just came under the influence of Islam. And at present also, you know that Saudi Arabia, it is an Islamic country, and even in that particular country, no other religion is allowed. Means no other people they can build their temples or church. That is strictly banned in Saudi Arabia. Now the Kaaba was cleansed of idols as Muslims were required to face the shrine when offering prayers. So, in a short space of time, Muhammad was able to unite a large part of Arabia under a new faith, community, and state. And the early Islamic politics, however, remained a federation of Arab tribes and clans for a long time. And this way, Islam was established in Saudi Arabia, and Muhammad Paighambar, he just came to be known as the head of that Islam. So this was the topic for today. Hope all of you have understood the topic. Thank you and have a nice day.